Alright guys, this is my video blog for the fourth week assignment by Dr. Vaskaran, and we're asked to actually define the difference between the unit testing, integration testing, system testing, functional testing, stress testing, performance testing, and usability testing. And so I started with the first one, which is unit testing. For me, it's the level of software testing where individual units and components of the software are being tested. The main purpose is to validate that each unit of the software performs as designed. A unit is the smallest testable part of any software. It usually has one or a few inputs and usually a single output. In procedural programming, a unit may be an individual program or function or procedure. How is it being performed? So the unit testing is performed using the white box testing method, and it's also the first level of software testing that's performed prior to integration testing. It is normally performed by software developers themselves or their peers. In some cases, it may also be performed by independent software testers. The benefits of the unit testing is that it increases confidence in changing and maintaining code. If a good unit tests are written and they are run every time any code is changed, we will be able to promptly catch any defects introduced due to the changes. Also, if codes are already made less interdependent to make unit testing possible, the unintended impact of changes to any code is less. I went ahead to talk about integration testing, which is a level of software testing where individual units are combined and tested as a group. The purpose of the integrated testing is that it is used to expose faults in the interaction between integrated units. Some test drivers and test stubs can be used to assist in integration testing. It's a way of testing performed to expose defects in the interfaces and in the interactions between integrated components and systems. There are two different types of integration testing, which is called component integration testing and system integration testing. The component integration testing is a testing that has been performed to expose defects in the interfaces and also the interaction between integrated components. While the system integration testing tests the integration of the systems and packages, testing interfaces to external organizations, which is like an example could be like electronic data interchange or the internet. Integration testing is the second level of testing performed after unit testing and before system testing. Developers themselves or independent testers are the ones that perform the integration testing. The system testing is the third one I was talking about, which is a level of software testing where a complete and integrated software is tested. The purpose of this test is to evaluate the system's compliance with the specified requirements. And this is the third level of software testing, which is performed after integration testing and before acceptance of the test. And normally, independent testers perform system testing too as well. So I went ahead to talk about the functional testing. For me, the functional testing is a type of software testing whereby the system is tested against the functional requirements and the specifications. Functional testing ensures that the requirements are properly satisfied by the application. This type of testing is not concerned with how processing occurs, but rather with the result of the processing, which means if there's a processing, we're looking forward for what is the result when the application comes up. So the type of testing is not concerned about how processing occurs. It simulates actual system usage, but does not make any system structure assumptions. During functional testing, black box testing technique is used in which the internal logic of the system being tested is not known to the tester. Functional testing is normally performed during the levels of system testing and acceptance testing too. The developers pretty much mostly the ones that actually performs the functional testing. Sometimes the developer, sometimes the system analyst actually check to find out that everything is actually working in place, being accessed. The workstation is doing great. So I went ahead to the performance testing. This is a type of software testing that intends to determine how a system performs in terms of responsiveness and stability under a certain load. There are four different types. We have the load testing, the stress testing, the endurance testing, and the spike testing. The load testing is just a type of performance testing which are conducted to evaluate the behavior of a system at increasing workload. The I'll talk about the endurance testing is a type of performance testing conducted to evaluate the behavior of a system when a significant workload is given continuously. The spike testing is a type of performance testing conducted to evaluate the behavior of a system when the load is suddenly and substantially increased. The stress testing, which is also a part of what we're actually talking about, is a type of performance testing conducted to evaluate the behavior of a system at or beyond the limits of its anticipated workload. A most prominent use of stress testing is to determine the limit at which the system or software or hardware breaks. It also checks whether the system demonstrates effective error management under extreme conditions. The main purpose of stress testing is to make sure that the system recovers after failure, which is called as recoverability. And the last but not the least is the usability testing. And this type of testing it is actually done from an end user's perspective to determine if the system is easily usable. Testing to determine the extent to which the software product is understood, is easy to learn, is easy to operate, it's user-friendly and attractive to the users under specified conditions. Usability testing is normally performed during the system testing and acceptance testing levels. Thank you.